Hey, what's up, everybody? Mogan Monster here, along with Stevie B.
Hey.
Welcome to Why the Fascination, or WTF. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Not well, I hope you're doing great. Welcome. Blazer, how are you? Chessboard, good to see you.
Mr. Lee.
What's up, Mr. Lee? Hey, Sharon. I know Jim was here first. Good to see you, Jim. Hey, Val. Northwoods, what's up? He says, I'm counting down the days. It's a little over a month. My schedule will change, and I won't be working the graveyard shift on Fridays anymore.
Right on.
Absolutely. Catch anything with those worms? No. Actually, those were lizards.
Hey, Nelson.
Good to see you. Not yet.
What's up, Ben?
We were just fishing about a half an hour ago, and I cast into the weeds, and I'm throwing like a crawdad, and as soon as it hit the water exploded.
I'm over on the other end of the wall, and I kind of catch it out of the corner of my eye.
I hit a gator, and I pulled back, and it just snapped, but I lured it in enough where it wasn't. Either he swallowed the whole thing, or it just like I cast
Body
on the other
broke it
side
or something.
Yeah,
Well, whatever happened, it was so much tension. His line snapped back and it hit my hand.
Like, yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Just whipped back, and the end of the line caught her right in the hand.
I mean, it didn't hurt or anything. It just gently kind of grazed across the top of my hand as I'm reeling mine in a little bit. Yeah. Small baby gator.
Blackie, what's going on? Hey, Chuck. Howling Underdog Films.
Roger Blair.
Good to see you. Hey, Roger.
See you.
So, yeah, as you know,
Sharon.
yes, she's comfy in bed.
Right, 3 a.m. You should be resting. Sleep. For me, that's the middle of the night. 3 a.m.
Link is in chat. Yeah, but you got weird out.
I get up at 4:30.
Yeah, but you get up. You can go to bed, and an hour later you'll get up, and you'll be up for another hour.
And I know.
Yeah.
Well, for me to get up is such a pain in the ass. It's such a task getting my legs on to get up. Once I'm up, I'm kind of up.
I'm up for a while.
I'm kind of up, whether I want to be or not. I mean,
no, I get that, but it's just your hours, or you don't get like a solid 7 hours.
Did last night. Well, you don't either. I mean, if you think about it, 7 hours. I think that's too much sleep for me.
No, I get pretty solid sleep unless I get cramps. I get cramps in my legs and my feet. It just because dehydrated.
Jim says 3 a.m. is about when I wake up. I think you mentioned that this morning that you were up. Well, you had said about 5 hours. At that point, I did the math and would have put it about 3 a.m. I was like, damn, I thought I got up early.
He says, my suntan is better than yours, Mugs. English weather is marvelous this time, or this year.
This year.
Yeah, I doubt it, dude. I'm like waiting to be deported.
Sharon says, I haven't slept yet. Get some rest, young lady.
Yeah, actually, I did like 13 days of work straight, and then I got yesterday and today the whole day off.
And today.
That's
so awesome.
But tomorrow I got go back to work.
I think it was catching up with you.
Well, yeah, it's a long 13 days in a row. Yes.
LIB, what it do?
What's up, Mike?
This is my sleep.
Sharon Guy, good to see you.
My sleep is similar to a bear attack. I just lay there and play dead and hope for the best. I get that too. I get it.
So yeah, I've told you guys before, I got to deal with these blind mosquitoes at work. They're aquatic nymphs or midges, whatever you want to call them. But the other day I went and I recorded
idea of how much coverage.
All right, hold on, let me start this over.
Ooh, I didn't realize you got a close up of them on the wall, on the pylon.
All right, I talk about these blind mosquitoes all the time on the show, but I want you to witness it.
Now they're all over this boat, and I just have to bang on it. And they just swarm. There's millions of them.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
And I wish you could hear it.
That is a swarm.
Yeah, they sound like a swarm of bees. There's so many of them. It just buzzes.
Jeez, I wish you could hear
You
it.
can hear them coming.
I deal with them every day.
Right? Sharon says, oh my goodness, I couldn't work with that. You gotta close your mouth,
So these
plug your nose, your
mosquitoes,
ears.
nymphs are
They just-
everywhere.
And they don't bite. That's the only good thing about them is that they don't bite. They're just a nuisance.
Yeah, they're just there. I
An
mean,
idea of how much
They're everywhere.
coverage.
I mean, look at that.
these are cement posts, and they're just everywhere.
That whole pole.
And they'll stay there unless you disturb them. If you brush by them, they swarm.
Hell, B says I thought it was raining. That boat in the background there, that's covered too. What they do is they get into the shade, because once the sun hits the seats and everything, it gets too hot. So they just find the shade. What's up, Ben? Good to see you. And it's just I've figured out how to get rid of them like pretty quickly, get them off the boat. As I just keep hosing it down, and eventually they'll go land somewhere else. But if I've only got one boat going out, I don't dare touch the other two boats, because I'll get like that pontoon, I'll get that all clean, all of them off,
So chump.
and you know, don't touch the other boats because they will go back.
Ben said midge flies.
Yes.
Yeah, Jim, it is crazy. I can always tell. I can tell if they're bad. There's been a couple times where I drive over and I get out of the car. I mean, with just opening the car door.
People have pulled in to the parking lot.
Literally.
It's a grass parking lot, grass and dirt. They've pulled into the parking lot and didn't even get out
Nope.
because the car got swarmed, and they just turned around and left. And then they came back again, and finally, like the third time, I don't know if they called me or I called them.
I think they called you.
I called them, I think, to tell them they don't bite. As soon as I said they don't bite, they turned around and came back. But yeah, our little marina there is like they get the most of these flies than any other place on the chain of lakes. Don't know why, but it sucks.
Mr. Lee says, I've seen the zapper machines you can get for camping. Would that help? I've got a couple of those zappers.
Yeah, no, I would need like 10 of them.
Yeah, but I think it would clog it up. Honestly, it wouldn't do any good.
I come in, and you didn't see the boat, but there's a bay boat next to the other side of the pontoon, and it's got a big front deck, and like I'll go in tomorrow. I haven't been there for 2 days, but I know there's just going to be piles, like whatever way the wind blew, and there's going to be a pile of them in the boat, on the deck, down in the boat.
They get in the windshield around the
helm.
and they're like 6 inches piled up, smudged down
It's
mushed
crazy.
down in there. It's like, oh. I mean, they're not. They're a nuisance.
I just,
They're just a
they
nuisance.
end up going out the scuppereds on the boats, and they drain out into the lake. So all day long, all you hear is
It gets
You'll
cold.
hear the water, a fish come up and just suck a bunch of them
Yeah.
down. Rich, you don't sue him. Come on. Mr. Lee, give him back his cookies.
Mr. Lee says, too late, they're already gone.
What cookies?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're like, and right next to my boat is this. I don't know how long the Dora Queen is, but she's a replica paddle boat, 2-story, and we end up cleaning like boats at the same time. So I'll get mine. He's using the power washer. I'm just using the hose. I'll get my boats cleaned off. And here he comes around with the power washer, blowing them off of his. And where do they go?
Right back to his.
Back on my boats. Mr. Lee's fully carnivore for 3 weeks now.
Wow.
Roar. That's cool, man. That's very cool. How do you like it?
Most boring diet in the world.
You got to change it up. Change that protein up to like, squirrel and exotics. Snake.
Slipping through chat.
LIB says Dora Queen reminds me of
The one
the one
on
in Ozarks.
Mr. Lee says my chest hair is growing back.
What'd you hit puberty? Sorry.
Jim says kangaroo meat if you can keep it on your plate.
Right? I'll keep you hopping. The water doesn't have an amount of panfish to sufficiently eat the amount of midge fly larvae. I don't know. I see a lot of tons of bait fish in there.
Oh yeah.
A lot of sunnies and stuff like that. There is a lot of fish in the area, but they're coming up by the billions, literally.
Yeah.
Then there are no kangaroos in England. But I bet there's kangaroo meat.
Mhm.
Wait, is this like a carnivore diet where you hunt down and kill your food, or what? Mr. Lee will get arrested at the zoo.
Right. Wearing a red bandana.
Waking up naked. What movie was that?
In the
American
fetal
Werewolf
position.
in London.
In the fetal position.
Yeah. In the wolf den.
Jim says, I bet there's a few kangaroos at a zoo somewhere in the UK.
See? You call it the zoo diet.
There's Richie. Kangaroo tastes yummy.
I've never had it.
Not that
I
we're
don't
aware of.
think.
There was a rumor about McDonald's years ago.
Is that kangaroo or horse? I
Both.
wasn't sure.
I think it was both. Different times.
Figured we tried it once. Let's see what we can do with this meat.
You know,
Link is in chat, guys.
they're still in business.
Let me get rid of this.
He says apparently kangaroo tail is a delicacy.
It's all muscle. You know?
Ben says those fuckers will fist fight you.
Yeah, they're all jacked. I
They
think
are.
there's like steroids in the food out there or something.
Something.
They fucking kangaroo all like all pissed off at you and just ready to box you. Blood B says I'm eating. I can't join tonight.
Kangaroo?
Plus, I did OCST show last night, so I'm pretty played out.
Thank you for the water.
Oh yeah.
In the most giant cup you could find.
I didn't want to be too obnoxious.
Can't see my face. I do appreciate it though.
Could have gave her the small cup.
Right. Look over and you got this tiny compared to that one. I can supply the whole chat with water.
Northwood says a restaurant here used to be so bad that the joke was that people would leave their place and go right across the street to the cemetery.
Oh, jeez.
Can't be that bad.
It's kind of convenient that the cemetery was across the street from the restaurant.
I prefer the emergency room.
Just skip the step. That's all.
Maybe Tina will tell her story. Still waiting.
You know?
She knows she's welcome. She knows how to get here. Good idea, though, Jim. Yeah, I haven't checked the weather up the coast. Is it still hot as balls up to Maine? Because I know it was brutal. I heard it.
I'm so
I
glad.
heard Mormons are addicted to sports drinks. No, but Diet Mountain Dew, yeah, they're doing that. Well,
I wouldn't say
do it-
all.
no. See, due to Mormon religion, you can't have an addiction. You can't drink something like you can't drink coffee. You're not supposed to smoke. You're not supposed to swear. Blah 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 blah. Well, I've witnessed firsthand, you know, how they get around that. A lot of addictions they go is with food. Witness that, and Diet Mountain Dew. Out there, if they get the cheaper stuff, it's it's whatever it's called, Dr. Dew, some shit. But sports drinks, there's nothing to get addicted to. Now maybe those energy drinks, I could see that. It says Stevie, I spit coke everywhere in chat Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Anybody in chat get it on them?
Right.
Yeah, no nicotine, no caffeine, no alcohol. Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah, no, my ex-wife was Mormon. Although she would say Jack Mormon. Her parents, her father was I guess we just call it deacon, a monk in the church. Roger says it's hotter than a steel chainsaw in an Eastern Kentucky pawn shop where I live.
Jeez. Mr. Hugh, good morning.
What's up, Mr. Hugh? Great to see you. Hey, Karen.
I am on top.
And that's the other thing is I 13 days. I mean, we've been dealing with heat forever, but just working all those days, I was like, I didn't leave the house. I started to go to work to go fuel up some boats, and my truck started acting up. So I turned around, came home, looked at the truck, couldn't figure it out. And I was like, fuck it, I ain't going back. Well, no, it was just hotter than balls, and I was like, no, I need a friggin' break, and I'm taking 2 days. Today was my second day.
I did it last weekend, Sunday and Monday. I didn't leave the house.
My first reservation tomorrow doesn't go out until 12:30, so that gives me plenty of time to fill up the boats. You know, it takes me 15 minutes to go there and back. Ben says it's miserable there.
I don't know. I drove home in some wicked storms today. I mean, it was bad.
We got hit with.
I considered pulling over at one point. I mean, it just wiper blades weren't doing any good. Any other vehicle came up alongside you or in front of you. I was blinded once. I was turning into a kind of a bend in the road, and there was a truck in front of me. The roads flooded. Like, I mean, we got dumped with so much water, so much rain at the same time
so
that
fast.
The roads were. I mean, there had been a couple inches on the road, just constant, coming all the way through Wekiva. I had a truck that cut in front of me and hit I mean, it was a huge, long puddle. I was blinded coming into a turn, and I just kind of took my foot off the gas, grabbed the wheel with both hands,
prayer.
and just went with it. I mean, there was nothing I could do. I couldn't see. I just kind of anticipated the turn of the road, and I came out it okay. After that, I was considering pulling over, but I just tried to keep my distance away from any other vehicle. And yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. But it washed out all that humidity for a minute this evening. It was pretty nice out there.
Pleasant out now.
Until the mosquitoes started biting. It's always something.
Biting your ankles.
Ankles. They hurt their teeth on their ankles.
Mosquitoes running around with like crooked little proboscis. Fucked up. Yes, it's a proboscis. What? WTF, Mike, what's happening? Good to see you. LIB says, I don't dive into religion. I go blonde bimbo when it comes up.
Sharon, me too. I was in a wreck years ago, and
bad one.
Yeah, I got hit by a truck that went flying past me, and he lost control. Fishtailed. The back of his truck smacked into the rear end of my car and put me in a spin across the median onto oncoming traffic. I got hit 5 times by 4 different vehicles before I finally came to a stop. And my car was all screwed up. It was totaled. They had to cut me out of the door. The windshield and the passenger's door, I got hit by an Escalade pretty much head on, and both the windshield and the window, the glass just shattered. I remember turning just to keep it. I felt it pelting me in the head. When I finally come to a stop, it was in a real bad storm. I mean, lightning was cracking over top of the cars, and it was horrible. But I remember when I come to a stop, a sheriff comes running up to the side, and they didn't expect that I was okay. Ambulance shows up, and they've got the gurney. They're ready to take me out of the car. But thank God I came out. I walked away after they cut the door open. But the sheriff comes running up in the pouring rain, and are you okay? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I think so. I'm still kind of stunned by it all. He's like, okay, put your window up. I'm gonna go get help. I'm like, there's no window to put up. Windshield's gone. Rain's just pouring in. I mean, he was being considerate, trying to.
Done.
Yeah, I'm like, it won't. There's nothing there. I'm picking it out of my hair. That was bad. So yeah, I get nervous. If ever I experienced any kind of PTSD, I think it's from that. Rain never bothered me. I lived here for years and drove through many storms and never once bothered me. But after that, yeah, I'm real nervous about driving when it's raining that hard. Yeah, my car, not so much. I was good. I think.
And they were shocked that you were all right.
Well, I was
said,
too,
you
for
know,
the
like,
most part. I mean, when the
what did where your foot got messed up? Something got messed
well,
up.
when
didn't it?
that's what I was just going to explain. When the Escalade hit me, I saw it coming head on, and I remember just kind of I just kind of settled in. My hands dropped to the bottom of the wheel, and I remember saying, "Oh Lord, help me, please help me." And boom, he managed to turn, and it got me right where the door opens up, right at the door jamb. So the windshield and the window. But when I saw him coming, and I just kind of did like this, pulling my left leg up with me, and when I did, it just upon impact, the door, my leg got hit into the door, and my foot was under the dash right there. Everything came in, so good thing I did rear up to a ball,
Yeah.
or else it'd have been a lot worse.
Sorry, you guys. We're just like, I mean, I've heard it before, but you guys haven't.
But yeah, it was a hit and run, two times, double hit and run. So the guy in the pickup truck that fishtailed and smacked into me and sent me in that spin, he took off. And the guy in the Escalade, I thought was just pulling back and pulling up on the median because that's where I was at. I was about to go back over at the median, still spinning. That Escalade stopped me. When I saw the guy, when he put it in reverse, I thought he was just going to come up alongside. Oh, he kept going. Gone. Still, nobody knows who they were. There was two ladies that stopped. I said they were my angels. One came pulling up in front of me. One came up alongside of me, and they were shielding me from anybody else hitting me. I told the one lady in front jumps out of her car, and I'm yelling through the open windshield, "Get back in your car! Get back in your car!" Everybody thought I was pretty much gone.
I think I mentioned this accident, like driving in the rain. We were up in Connecticut. I went with a bunch of friends, and I wasn't driving, but I was in the passenger seat. We're coming down I-95 in Connecticut, and it's pouring. And about 4 cars up, this guy was in like an old Plymouth or whatever he was in. He hydroplaned and turned sideways and hit the wall, but he stopped. He was blocking the fast lane. The car neck behind him shot off to the left, like just cut over to avoid him. Same thing with the next car, and I watched them shoot off, and I turned to her and I'm like, "Brake, brake, brake." She goes, I'm trying, but we were hydroplaning. I'm watching him. I'm watching the car that just peeled off because he clips a pickup truck in the slow lane, spins it around, and sends it up an embankment.
Mm.
And then it rolls back down. And I see that, but I also see we hit this guy broadside and bounce into the center lane sideways. My first reaction, I had already seen that guy roll up the hill, and I'm like, this guy needs help. And my first response was to jump out of the vehicle. And I got out, and I turn around in that lane, and here's this semi truck coming at me.
Jesus.
I'm like this, telling it to slow down. So you just hear those brakes, even though it was raining.
Yeah.
He locked up those brakes. These guys are like, "Get the fuck back in the car." I'm like, "Are you guys okay?" Yeah. Okay. And then I took off, and I ran over to where the friggin'.
I yelled at the lady because she wouldn't get back in the car. She was concerned with if I was okay. And I'm screaming at her, "Get back in the car." I mean, cars are still, this was when it was still in the middle of everything. Cars zooming by, and where it happened was kind of on an incline. So when you're coming down, you didn't see it unless you were on top of it. I mean, when I went into the spin and I got to the median, I thought then I was going to flip. I kind of anticipated the car rolling. That's how fast I was spinning around. So when I hit the median and kind of jumped over it, I'm looking at cars coming at me. I'm looking at cars coming at me, and it's like something out of a movie. They're zooming by, and people are beeping. I hear horns. I'm watching them just separate. Hear this 16-year-old girl on her phone, probably one of the sheriffs said she wasn't paying attention, and she was the first one to hit me. When she hit me so hard, my car spun around, and I ended up hitting her. So that's where I said I got hit 5 times by 4 different vehicles. I hit her twice. She hit me. I spun around and bam, slapped her again. And it spun me the opposite direction. So I'm going back towards the median. I just jumped over.
I'm getting dizzy.
Yeah. Oh, imagine. I'm just for the ride. There was, the first time that she hit me, the wheel kind of, I guess, jammed up then. It got pushed in. So I had absolutely no control. It was like, just hold on and pray for the best.
For the best.
Yeah. And literally, that's what I did. I remember saying a prayer. I said, "Oh Lord, please help me." When I saw that escalate,
What's going on, Wendell?
I just knew that was it. I saw that big ass truck. I was driving a Ford Focus. It was the smallest car I could possibly be in, looking at an Escalade coming straight. I didn't know it was an Escalade at the time. The woman that had stopped, she basically gave a report as a witness that that's what it was. Big black Escalade.
What's happening, Ben?
Hey, what's up, man?
Tired of waiting.
I was just about to text you.
Thank you, Sharon. You're too kind.
Yeah, I'm glad that that turned out for the best for you, Stevie.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was the worst accident I've ever been involved in, and don't want to go through something like that again.
Yeah, I hear that.
I get nervous. The whole thing of telling that is I get nervous. I was nervous this afternoon driving in that. When I got blinded, I was just like, oh no. I think I'm going to pull over, but I just kept going slowly.
I believe that.
Yeah, I even whenever I know she's getting ready to leave work, I always just say, be safe. Text her, be safe.
Every time.
And I think I texted her like twice, be safe. I left a message saying, hey, it's going to rain, or it's, heads up.
Oh, hell, when I left work, as I'm listening to his message, I'm looking at this group of clouds to the east that I'm watching them form, and it's kind of in a big circle. And I'm seeing a little piece dropping down. I'm like, oh no, because it's in the direction I'm about to go. I'm sitting at the light watching this. I think I might have filmed a little bit of it.
Yeah, all the storms have been coming from the east, off the ocean. But now, I guess tomorrow it's going to switch around. They're going to be coming from the west.
Oh, wow.
Dude, we had a storm yesterday. It lasted for 12 minutes. But I guarantee
3 inches of water.
No, I mean 50-mile-per-hour winds out of nowhere, coming from every side.
Well, when I walked out of work, I'm coming down the walkway, the lightning indicator goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, oh shit, let me get out of here. But as I was leaving, my coworker was telling me, be careful. She told me, be careful, that she just looked at radar and they were calling for damaging winds and flooding for Central Florida. And I'll be damned, all that rain that came down that quick, that ride home, I was driving in 2-3 inches of water in some spots, but it was constant. And it's funny because people are flying and then it stops raining. I get closer to home and there's no rain, but yet this car wants to go 40 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone for the whole duration of the drive, the rest of the drive. I'm just like, I give up.
No, I experienced it Friday coming back, on that same route on 46 or 40, whatever the
45.
fuck it is.
Oh, 46, excuse me.
And yeah, it's 55-mile-per-hour zone. And somebody's doing 45.
This little car, 2 cars in front of me. The guy in front of me was riding his tail the whole time. I'm like, dude, just give up. He's not going any faster. I held back and I'm just like screw it. What am I going to do? I'll get there eventually. But it's so maddening. Oh my God.
Well, I get pissed off when people do the speed limit out here.
Yeah.
On Lakeshore.
On Lakeshore.
Yeah, us too.
It's the speed limit's 30, but the average, like if I'm cruising, just then usually a good flow is 40. But somebody, not almost every day, somebody insists on being in front of me doing 30.
Yeah. Dude, I'm from a little town in Louisiana called Vacherie that has nothing but goddamn cane fields. And most of the time you drive, when I go see my parents, when you try to drive through Vacherie, you have to follow a motherfucking tractor.
Oh.
Dude, that is the worst shit in the world. That is the most aggravating shit in the world.
I
Kicking
get
up
it.
mud in your truck, going 15.
Fuck.
I passed a couple ranches on the way to work, and I've gotten caught behind a tractor. And
Yeah.
everybody waits until they get to the point where we can go around them. Hell, I get caught by it on Thursdays if I don't leave early enough. I get caught by a trash truck that goes down the main highway, and they stop in front of each house, and
Oh, yeah, screw that.
they don't pull over. They're just, it's like, oh, come on. And it's
Dude.
usually at a spot where you can't get around them, so you gotta wait until they get up to the light and they finally turn. But yeah, like I said, you gotta time it right on Thursdays to not get caught up by the trash truck. It's like, damn it.
Where'd everybody go? This is like 19 here.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody left? God
don't
damn.
I don't know.
I need to get off.
No, it ain't you.
It's probably me talking about my accident.
No, baby, that ain't true.
A lot of sinkholes in Florida, I heard.
There are.
Yeah, dude. Like the kind that pop up and swallow like half of your house and shit. Why
Yeah.
does that happen?
There was one in Tampa years back that opened up in the middle of the night. The homeowner was alone in bed, and the whole house was gone, and they never did recover him. They ended up filling it up and fencing off the area, and yeah, it was bad. It was instant. There was nothing he could have done to save himself. There was no warning, no nothing. It just,
Dude, I might have to look into this. What causes a sinkhole?
well, you got to figure most of Florida is sitting on water aquifers. You know,
Yeah.
they're all throughout Florida.
Springs and
That's
these
what
major caverns
That's what the springs are.
that this is actually what we're standing on is a roof. You know, if you're in that area
Yeah.
of a cabin, so of a cavern, excuse me.
What kind of cavern, though?
I don't know, like an aquifer,
The
like
water
she said.
aquifers, they're caves of
Oh,
fresh
oh,
water flow from the springs that push up
okay.
to certain
Uh-huh.
points. Yeah.
Yeah, over here we have salt domes that companies like they pump whatever kind of oil out of it and shit. So, like a couple years ago, some company pumped too much oil out of a salt dome underneath the ground, and it swallowed like a whole damn town, and like a lake too. This is a couple years ago.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Stevie. I'm sorry.
I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was laughing because I read Northwood's comment. I wanted
Yeah,
to
that's cool.
clarify that because I don't want people to think I was laughing at what he was talking about the whole time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Northwood says there's a huge ice hole somewhere in the Carolinas. He's married to my ex.
Yeah, Karen, school buses too. I get caught up. I go through 2 school zones, and the third one is on the other side of town. So I get caught up by the buses, but I love summertime. Cuts probably 15 to 20 minutes sometimes off of my drive to work.
Oh
When
yeah,
school's
no,
out.
yeah. I
Yeah.
drove through one
Woo.
school zone right by my work.
Oh, you're right by the actual school.
Yeah.
It's
Scott B, what's up? Good to see you.
I can't complain. My drive takes on average an hour each direction. Depending on traffic, a lot of times, like Saturdays, I can get there in 45 minutes. But I go through, I pass a horse track. What is it called with the buggies, the race? One day.
Trotters.
Yeah. So that track is what that's for. So I get to see them in the morning sometimes out there with their horses, and
Oh, right on.
then I go a little further and I go through a pasture. So I've got cows on both sides. That's where that bear jumped out of that one morning. And then once I get about halfway, the other half actually of my drive is going through two different forests. So I got a pretty cool drive to work.
A black bear?
Oh yeah. Black bear jumped
Oh,
out
shit.
in front of a car that was going around a bend, ran out in the street. I saw it. I was in the beginning of the bend. The kid was coming out of it. So I just came into the bend. I saw the bear run from the left side of the road, jumped out of the trees. I saw the car and I'm like, no. Boom. The bear gets slammed on the passenger side bumper, but
Damn.
comes up over the windshield and was like gutted and then fell off to the side, and the kid kind of fishtailed, braked and got over. I got up close enough, slowed down. There was no traffic in either direction. I pulled over and I jumped out, and I'm jumping to the back of my car because the kid's getting out of the car and I think he's in shock. I'm thinking that we don't know if the bear's dead yet. I run to the back of my car and getting ready to grab my weapon, and I actually saw the bear was not moving at that point. And I yelled to the kid, I'm like, hey, no, wait, and he kind of stopped. So once I looked over and saw the bear was okay, I walked over around the out into the street.
Wasn't that okay though?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was done.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
put it that way.
It wasn't going to harm
Exactly.
anybody.
Once I knew that, I ran over, not ran, I just walked over to him, and he was in shock. Young kid,
Captain Miserable.
very,
What's
very young boy. He was in shock. I grabbed him. I like gave him a hug. It's okay. It's all right. I saw it. I said, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah." Like I guess. No
This is
sooner
weird.
did I figure out he was okay. A car's coming, but I didn't know as it was approaching that it was a Range Rover. What are they called? The
Rangers?
Road Ranger. Yeah.
For the tow service
Yes.
type deal? Oh,
Yes. So he put his lights on, and I pretty much at that point I'm like,
Well,
everybody's okay. I gotta go. I had to get to work.
What's up, Wendell?
It was a white.
Just
little-
sitting here listening.
Hey, Wendell, what's up, man?
It reminded me of like a Toyota
Hey,
Camry.
man.
That it was white, but the whole front of the car was no longer white. I mean,
Damn. How big was the bear?
it was pretty good size. I mean, and he was hauling ass coming out of the tree line. I don't
Damn.
know. I don't know if it was after something or if something was after it. But it was hauling ass to where this kid had no time to react at all. I mean, I was way at the beginning of the bend, so I could see it, but it just, I mean, boom, like, no, boom.
Too late.
Yeah,
It sucks when you see it coming.
yeah, that was rough.
I was sitting at a light one day, or coming up to a light, and
Hey, Wendell.
I could see through the yard where, like, we're going this way. There's a car coming this way, and I see it past the house, between the houses, and just seeing it where it was, how fast it was going. I turned to the guy next to me. I said, "Watch this," and he looks up, and this car goes through the red light and just T-bones someone. He's like, "How the fuck did you know that was going to happen?"
Saw it coming.
It was just so quick that I just saw something fly by between the houses, and there was no way it was going to stop.
I had a closer to work, actually, around where I bought my car from, that same road. A juvenile sized black bear come running out from the left. Watched him. I mean, I slowed down. I watched him go over to the tree line on the right side of the road. Here I see a guy jogging. He cuts the corner coming down the block. And I pull up close to him, slow, trying to warn him that, hey, I just saw a bear cut across into the tree line. and it wasn't really running fast. It was just kind of trotted along across the street. And the guy gave me an attitude. So I pulled up and I was like, hey, and he was like, what? And I was like, well, have a good day.
You didn't even tell
I
him.
know, you know, I mean, I'm trying to help him, but he just was not very friendly at all. Like I totally interrupted his run. You know, I tried.
Never mind.
I felt
What's
bad.
up, Figgy?
I felt bad, so I'm looking in the rear view just to make sure.
Getting the camera
I
ready
was
to
like,
videotape
oh,
the
no.
mauling.
Did anybody hear about the fireball today?
About the what?
I heard about it.
About what?
There was like a meteor, right, that came in like Tennessee. Well, there were like 3 states you could see it from.
Really?
Yeah, and it supposedly shook up the place. I don't
did
know
not. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah,
Damn.
about it.
I just heard that somebody seen a fireball and didn't know what it was. Whether it's space junk or meteor or whatever.
Something burnt up in the atmosphere.
During the day.
Yeah.
It's unusual.
I wonder if it's
They'll never
Michael
tell us.
Haywood's been eating Taco Bell again.
Fire in the sky. Well,
Oh,
don't text and drive, Figgy. Just drive.
What's up, Biggie?
Don't ask questions. She's driving.
Sorry.
She'll feel compelled to answer them.
Don't answer. She's a professional driver.
Still,
She's probably got hands free, I'm sure.
what's hands free? The wheel?
No. That type of text thing is kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
funny, though.
Or-
You got to be
or-
careful
or
with that shit.
Voice to text.
Yeah, voice.
I didn't say that.
text,
Wait,
voice.
wait. Don't send that.
Oh, I've done that. I did that with one of the coaches at work one day, and it came off as something that I totally did not say.
Or would want to say.
No, exactly. And God, I was teased about it for probably the next year.
Well, did you see my podcast yesterday?
Negative.
Last
I did
night?
not. I haven't watched much
Or
of it.
Mark Green released one this morning of him and Stacy. Was all talking about what happened down there at Hollins.
What happened?
Which time?
This past time,
With the orb and stuff?
yeah, 1st of June there.
Okay.
We seen that thing cross the road up there in the daytime, and another shadow down in the holler that covered up 2 trees that was over 9 feet tall, and Stacy had something waving at her in the bushes, and something gathered the watermelon and bacon off of a tree stump, and there's all
Oh, yeah,
kind of stuff going on.
Why can't we get pictures of them, bro?
Some people have them. They
Yeah, I've
not
heard-
really
I've heard
clear
that.
pictures, but
They're never cool
Pat and
pictures.
Joe got a very good thermal of something that they got up at LBL.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we saw that, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And Roger got a thermal of something going through the woods the other night when we was down there, and he released his video. And
You know, I'm talking about like something that people that don't believe in Bigfoot just cannot refute. So it's gonna be getting harder with this AI
Oh,
garbage.
now we're fucked.
Yeah, we are fucked. So, I mean, somebody needs to come out with a good picture pretty soon because we are fucked. Because that AI shit,
No one's gonna believe it.
no shit, I know. They didn't believe it before. They were like, it's a gorilla suit. But I mean, but now it's like, oh my goodness. They got talking
Yeah,
Bigfoots
I
and
think
shit.
Yeah, well, they do the same thing with stormtroopers. So,
Yeah.
no, but I get it. It's just it muddies the waters.
It really does. It really does.
Jamie, Donald, good to see you.
Dude, they can animate and make a damn fake Bigfoot and animate it and make it talk. What is. Oh, man. Can you really believe anything now? What can't
yeah,
they
they
make?
got some dang believable AI people
Yeah,
and
they do.
stuff.
They definitely do.
They have people like Trump saying things that they didn't say, and
We're not
all
going to
kinds
talk
of
about
stuff.
religion. Not going to talk religion, politics. We don't do that over here.
I'm not saying politics. I'm just saying that
No, there is examples. Like
they,
they'll take a comedian and make a baby to make him look like a baby and tell the joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they come up
Jamie,
with
some of that AI
voices
stuff
of
is
the
funny.
people
Though.
that
No,
do
some
it.
of it's funny. Some of it's really vulgar. It's clever. I'll give it that much.
Yeah, dude, the only ones I hate is the Bigfoot ones. Really?
Shut up,
I get it.
Sarge.
I could be, on an island by myself, but I hate them.
Some of them's
Uh,
funny, but for the most part, I agree with you that it's a waste of time.
Donald says if you read the descriptions of them, the videos, it's mandatory to tell that AI is used.
Yes, and if
No,
you don't
dude.
disclose it, then they will shut you down. So they're trying to be
Dude, the first
working it.
the first microsecond that I see these AI Bigfoots, I turn it off and download it because I don't need a disclaimer. I can tell. But this is already a fringe topic, right?
Yeah.
This is not a mainstream topic. The mainstream people don't believe in this.
Oh no.
They mostly believe in the garbage the media spews to them.
But I'll
That's all.
tell you what, dude. I talk to a lot of people, random people, members, of the boat club or whoever. I don't care what I'm into, and I get a lot of stories. As a matter of fact, where the guy's got the Bigfoot tattoo, or you'd be surprised how many conversations I've had on that dock of people who've had some sort of
He does that everywhere.
experience.
We were fishing down Crystal River one time, and an older couple comes walking up, and somehow we got to talking to them, and the topic came up. I forget where they were from. That's what kind of raised the question. But they didn't have an experience, but their uncle or somebody in their family close
They knew
to them
somebody who did.
somebody that was close to them that did. I think it was her uncle or something. But yeah, it's interesting to have those conversations with strangers. Everybody's got a story, it seems. And if they don't, they know somebody that does, and they know the story well enough to tell it.
I've had those people. I used to do it in Sedona. It was awesome. These people would go out and they'd rent their ATV or their side by side and go do their 4 to 8 hours and come back. And I'm the first one they got to deal with. So when they pull up, first, question would be, "Oh, how was it? Did you guys have a good time?" And I'm like eyeballing them, or the guy's wearing a camel hat. He's probably a hunter. I'd listen for an accent, or next question, where are you guys from? eventually I'm talking about Bigfoot. I bring it up. And
Yeah.
I've had people be like,
Yeah.
I've been in the woods for 40 years and I've never seen a goddamn thing out there. But I work with a guy who wrote a book on the subject.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Really?
But
I mean, I work in parks, and it's not advisable to talk about things like that. But
Mhm.
I work in the office of the park that's right off the trail at the same place that I had my experience, and every so often you can't help but stumble upon the subject. And just last year, something came up, and one of my regular patrons, I've seen him probably every Saturday for the past 3-4 years, and
Wow.
you get to know people and just little aspects of your life. How's the family? How's the kids? Whatever. One day, something was said, and he indicated that he does believe. He's curious. His brother and him and his father had an experience not far from my park. It was off at the Wekiva State Park, Wekiva State Forest area. And ever since he was a kid, he's been curious. And I'm like, dude, I've known you for, years now. And I'm sure I've talked about other things that would have came up, but yeah, he might be listening right now. I don't know,
Yeah.
but same kind of attitude of, we can't talk about it much around here because people look at you like you're crazy, or if it can get back to your job, or you know what I mean.
I had people come in one day. They were members. They took the boat out. When they came back in, they had a flag flying on it, and it was a Sasquatch on the flag.
Well,
And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? I said, well, what's up with the Bigfoot? Oh, he goes everywhere with us. I'm
Well,
like, but why? I don't know. We just like him.
yeah,
That was it.
it's a novelty. But so it's kind of true to talk about things like that around my job. But then 2 years ago for Christmas, we do throughout the county. They have a door decorating contest, and what is it? Wildlife and Trails. Their door is with a Sasquatch peeking around a tree and with an ornament hanging from it. It's like, wait, what? We have to judge as the office staff. We get to judge on who wins the contest. And so I'm looking through them, and some are cute, some are lame, but then I see the Sasquatch one. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, you don't really talk about shit like that.
But
around
it wins the
county.
contest.
But it won the contest. It did. It absolutely won the contest. And it was
Good.
awesome. I have a picture of it somewhere, I'm sure. But yeah, that trip, man. And then it makes you want to have those conversations with all those guys. All right, why'd you do that? But at the same time, there is a BFRO report confirmed less than probably a half a mile from my office. So, right off the trail that these guys, monitor the trails. So it makes you wonder. Nobody else talk about it though.
I wear a bunch of Bigfoot t-shirts and my hats and stuff like that, and nobody's ever asked me anything about them. But I have a shirt that I got from Bobby Dole. It says "Barn owls don't throw rocks," and that's the only one that anybody's ever commented on.
What doesn't throw right?
What doesn't throw? Oh, barred owls.
Oh, barred owls. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. You know what? I think on like the more popular Bigfoot shows, their ultimate question is always, well, what do you think Bigfoot is? And I think that question should be, why do you think they're not telling us about Bigfoot?
They don't want us to know because it'll just destroy the.
Why? That's the question.
The money for
involved.
people that go camping and stuff, they would if they scare them out of the woods.
I don't think that would be it. I think it's more industrial logging, commercial.
Because you're going to get the tree huggers and the environmentalists who, save the Bigfoot. You have to save the Bigfoot, and they want to block off, land. Wait a minute, they already did that. It's called a national park. A national park. They already did it. Leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them do their logging or whatever. They're replanting. They're not
Yeah.
clear cutting like everywhere.
Their business has to sustain. So in order for them to log a place, if they cut shit down, they got to replant. Right?
You would think.
So
Well,
what?
they don't own private property. I know that.
Sedona, Arizona. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. That's the kind of frustrating thing. Number one that frustrates me about this is a good camera picture. And number two is, it seems to me that this much witness testimony, it gets somebody a death sentence for real.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yes.
not about Bigfoot.
Well, there's a
It
film
doesn't.
of one. Patty.
Oh, there's more.
I
think
know,
the
I'm just
Freeman
saying.
film is real.
Yeah.
I think the 4th of July or Memorial Day, whatever. whichever holiday.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. The one with the baby.
Yes, I think that's real.
Yeah. Independence Day, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't remember. Might have been Memorial Day.
Still, I believe national parks are hiding more than Sasquatch.
I mean, people do report more than Sasquatch.
Well,
Yeah.
it's ironic that supposedly, the whole Bowman story with Roosevelt,
Yeah.
he created the national park soon after.
Yeah, you're right.
Right after. Just about.
Yeah, I said soon. But not over there.
Yeah.
It's
Some
semantic.
people say they think it. Truman was actually Bowman.
Roosevelt.
I mean, yeah, Roosevelt.
Oh, you mean Roosevelt had Truman with him?
No,
Well, there's that
Yeah,
guy
story
we
about-
the other day. That they think that maybe he was actually Bowman, whatever.
Yeah, I understand, man. I'm just fucking with him.
just because I get things mixed up don't mean I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nobody really does know about what they're talking about with Bigfoot, I mean, they can pretend like they do, but nobody
why-
really does know.
Years now that they are people. Nobody told me. Until about 7 years ago.
Yeah, but shit. I didn't even read that comment, but like a couple years ago, they were all everybody, was a mysterious North American primate, right? Now it's something different. They can cloak, they can turn into orbs. What the fuck is this thing?
I don't know. But there are stories, about
Yeah.
them turning into shit, into orbs. People seeing
Going
orbs
through
with face
portals.
in them.
Coming out of UFOs.
Yeah.
Bowman offed his partner in a drunken rage, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know.
And just blamed it on the friggin' Sasquatch. It was terrible. It wasn't me.
And the DNA says they're part human and part ape or something.
No, not ape, dude. It's
Doesn't
unknown.
say ape.
It says
It's
unknown.
unknown.
Usually, isn't it unknown primate or is it unknown?
It's just unknown.
Unknown.
Yeah.
I don't even think it specifies primate.
And it's usually the mother, the maternal side is the
The mitochondrial side
human.
is human. Yeah.
From what I've been understand.
You heard of Daniel Lee Barnett, the kid in England?
The place where they got
He's
all
about
them
14, 15
kangaroos.
years old. No, no. This kid, actually got some of that DNA from water and sent it in, or sent the
Oh,
water in and got the DNA.
eDNA?
Yeah, eDNA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
eDNA, that's it. And the one he got said it was part female and old world ape is what they reported to him.
No,
I was
I've never
listening
heard of
to Joe
that.
Rogan the other day, and he's just so set in his ways. I've seen bear walk upright for distances. Personally, I've seen him. Yeah, so have I.
Yeah.
Wasn't a bear, you know. Just his theories are like I know he wants to believe, you can tell, but he's just
Yeah, bad.
Like he's even said, I want to believe that there's something out there, but
Mr. Lisa's telling him, Bigfoot in England.
Kangaroos in England.
Guys, links in chat.
Probably
Anybody
is a
wants to
kangaroo
join
in the
us?
London Zoo.
What
Probably is a
happened?
kangaroo in the London Zoo.
At least one.
Yeah.
So I turned off the TV. I looked up and it was just weird. It was like somebody was standing there. Like, what the fuck? Look. We've been binge watching Eureka.
right.
Liver
With,
King was just arrested for terrorist threats against Joe Rogan.
yeah,
I heard he was arrested. I didn't know what for. That's interesting.
that's what it's for. Man, I remember I had a coworker. I was like, "This dude's not on steroids. He just eats raw meat." He said, "I was like, who?" Show me a picture of that dude. I was like, "Yeah, right. Come on."
Yeah, raw meat rage. Like roid rage.
That was a terrible one, Mose.
I know.
Yeah, they laugh.
You're
Well, I've
laughing.
not had no raw meat, but I've had some pretty rare.
I had a little bit of success with it.
I'm not laughing with you.
Whatever. As long as you're laughing.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
I've had some rare meat, but not no raw meat.
All right.
Raw meat.
Never let that shit go.
She,
It's not
I know.
fish. I mean, I've made some.
I was gonna say
steaks
some
that
of
were
your
pretty
steaks you
fucking-
made.
I think that some of them
We're
are still
crawling off the
moving
plate.
and mooing. Slight
I've had meat with blood still coming out of it. So
It's like, how do you want your steak? Just blow its nose, wipe its ass, and send it on out.
yeah. But I
Karen
do
said,
like.
why would anybody want to be known as the Liver King?
Right?
I have no
I
idea.
like my meat to have a little bit of a singe to it. Actually, that way it has more flavor.
Mr. Lee says, I've been eating up to 10 eggs a day. Plenty steaks, too. I had 3 eggs for dinner. Some beef. Some cheese and mushrooms and onions.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Well, I've had some potty meat sandwiches and Viennese sausages today.
Vienna.
Yep.
Vienna.
Just trying to hear Billy Joel singing it. Vienna waits for you. No, doesn't sound right. Just busted balls.
I like to take onion and slice it up, put some mustard on it, and eat it. And a sandwich.
Mustard on-
Mr. Haywood,
Yep.
how's it going?
Fishing trip over.
Fishing report.
Boat sink? What happened? Why so sudden? It's like fishing trip over. Okay. How'd it go?
He ate a taco and got blasted through the air and sent him back home.
Sharon says she cooked spaghetti. Had to do something with all these tomatoes.
That sounds
Get some
amazing.
homemade biscuits, slice it, put it on a biscuit. Get a bit homemade biscuit, put a little mayonnaise and slice the tomato, and go for it. You got a meal.
My demented dog, the Bernese mix, is barking at the nothing again. Now the other three are up and looking around confused. Well, pay attention to the dog. You might not be barking at nothing.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have a thermal camera or a infrared? Scan the house.
Paulie T.
What's up, Paulie?
Paulie says, hey, all, what's up? Gotta go see you Tuesday if there's a show. It'll be a show.
If there's a show.
If. When.
Does he know us?
Mm.
Have you met us before? We're always there.
All right,
Yeah.
y'all have a good night, guys. I'm gonna roll up.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll too.
Everybody's rolling. These more for new people. More room.
Right?
Good
Ben.
night, y'all. Enjoy it.
All right, Wendell.
Wendell, good to see you too. Every time I say something, boom, boom, they're
I'm
gone.
telling you. Links in chat. Anybody wants to fill that hole.
Sharon, I haven't had a good tomato sandwich in years. Florida tomatoes,
Too
Yeah.
mealy.
they are. They're very mealy.
I haven't had a really good tomato in a long time.
I saw a commercial and they were cutting open a tomato and it looked mealy. I'm
Really?
like, ew. I miss a good northern tomato.
Yeah.
I do.
We used to call them Jersey tomatoes or whatever. But
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying from all the tomatoes within this region I don't like them.
yeah, nice fresh tomato, a little salt,
Tomato
no pepper.
sandwich, mayo,
on,
salt
on-
and
on
pepper.
a fresh white bread, like a
Oh,
Wonder
yeah.
Bread even.
Oh yeah.
I think Wonder Bread's good for is that.
Tomato sandwich. Gotta grow up on them. I haven't had one in years. Not a decent one, anyways. I won't get a BLT here in Florida. Any type of tomato on a sandwich? No, I don't like it.
Tomato sandwiches, they're so good. How you doing, Michelle?
Good to see you.
Little lettuce, little bacon. That's even better.
Kidding me?
Mm.
No, I remember as a kid, just cut up a tomato with salt and pepper shaker, and that was
Yeah,
it. Just eat it like an
hell
apple.
yeah. Donald says they definitely messed up the tomatoes' DNA. Yeah, but you can get some. There's still heirloom seeds out there.
I think it's the soil down here, the
It's just
sandy. Yeah. Good soil is imported.
That's funny because we did this. I did this yesterday. She says my hubby is watching old pictures, and the one that just came up just said more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. But as far as watching old stuff,
We
like
did
we watched
yesterday, last night.
watched the first 12 minutes of MTV when it first came out,
Oh yeah,
and then we were watching some Saturday morning cartoons from the 70s.
late 70s.
Like yeah, and some of the commercials were like a trip.
Singing to them because it just comes back to you.
Yeah.
All the old cereal commercials, Honeycombs and Fruit Loops, and it's funny.
Advertisement for Star Wars.
The best movie ever, or something like that.
Star Wars. It was an act, at
The best movie ever made.
yeah,
That's what they
whatever they
said.
said. Yeah. But Julie says I used to love MTV. And well, they used to play music.
Back in the day, in the beginning.
You have to grow a good tomato in good dirt in the ground so you get that acidic taste.
That's it. I didn't say about the acidic taste, but yeah, I've always believed it's the soil.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you can do raised beds where you're making your soil. Yeah, you can.
I know. When I go to the grocery store, and if I'm considering a tomato, I'm sitting there looking at the little sticker to see where it's sent in from.
Yeah, Mexico or
Yeah, Florida or Mexico. Every once in a while, I'll get lucky and see them from up north.
Arizona. We got a ton of produce from Mexico. Wendell says, "Remember, Winston tastes good like a cigarette should." It's for Stretch Armstrong.
Hungry Hippo. I saw on
Hungry.
Hungry Hippo.
Connect 4. Where? I don't see it. Right there. Pretty sneaky, sis.
Glad you made it safe, Figgy.
John Roberts of Fox News started as a VJ in Canada's MTV equivalent, Much Music. That was interesting watching that whole MTV thing with all the originals and the one guy, Alan Hunter, just it took him forever to get into that groove.
And he swears that he never really truly did. You know? Mousetrap and Battling Tops. Mousetrap and Battleship. You sank my battleship.
He called himself J.D. Roberts. Here we go. All right, guys. Link again is in chat. If anybody wants to click on, we still have about 45 minutes left. Come hang out. Tell you what, my face was killing me the other day, Tuesday. Freaking Spanky.
Thank you.
I think my face hurts. Yeah, that was fun. Karen says, we thought we were so uptown having cable TV and more than 4 channels.
Right.
They must have gotten the idea for Hungry Hungry Hippos from seeing my ex's family
Wow.
at Thanksgiving. What else? Donald says the original game systems I saw in a video the other day, a lot of them I don't remember. Original game systems like Atari, ColecoVision, Atari was one of the original ones. Mugs, on Tuesday's replay, there were 0 adverts on your show. Are you still monetized? Apparently I didn't monetize. Yes, I am, but I didn't monetize those yet. I usually wait until I have like 4 or 5 that are just sitting there with the monetization off, and I go through and I just monetize them.
All at the same time.
Yeah, so people can watch them without the commercials for, you know, a week or two. Jamie says, I remember the switch to color TVs. Yeah.
I just said recently, I can't remember what birthday it was. When I was a little girl, it might have been my 10th birthday. I got a little black and white TV for my room. I thought I was the shit, you know?
Jamie, you are geriatric. Right? Northwoods remembers going to Pizza Hut and playing Pac-Man while waiting for the
Right?
food, and it was probably the
On the
tabletop
tabletop,
version. Yeah. There's nothing like the arcade versions of games.
Oh, I know.
You know, you could.
I didn't like the tabletop version of it, but
No,
you played it because it was there, you know?
no, but like I just liked arcade games. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
like. You know, it's going back like shit, Cubert and Galaga and Asteroids and all those, you know. And then it graduated to like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and NBA Jam and
So I never played any of those.
yeah, but I played them all arcades.
Right.
Yeah. Karen says we didn't have color in our house until 1972. Mom said we didn't need it since Dad was colorblind.
Mhm.
Never mind, the rest of us weren't. Dad wanted color, and we went out and got one finally.
That's cool. Yeah, I had a black and white in my room for.
Jamie's getting his first pension check ever.
Oh, that is awesome.
Right on, dude.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Wendell says, I remember getting 10 crystals for $1.
Northwood says, I haven't had a chance to play Pac-Man recently. I'm just as bad at it now as I was back in the 80s.
What's up, Jeff? Well, when I was 13, my dad had and his brother had bought. My dad was a cop. My uncle used to be a fireman, but they bought this little store, and it was more of a newspaper, cigarettes, coffee. We even did hot dogs, bagels in the morning, or rolls or whatever. But it was this little store, and I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah, damn it. I know I got to go back because something. Oh, so yeah, so we had video games in there. We always had like 2 video games, and the one that I loved the most was the Star Wars one.
Oh, right on. I don't think I played that one.
Yeah, it was like you were flying a TIE fighter, and you're flying through like when he shoots the blows up the Death Star, and it was cool. Anyway. Last season of Stranger Things coming out soon. If you haven't seen it, you can binge watch all seasons on Netflix.
Mhm.
This is not an endorsement.
It's been a long time.
How you doing, Jeff? Yeah, I maybe watched 1 season of it, if that.
I watched the whole thing. Probably,
Good. It was
probably
good.
twice. I probably watched it twice.
From what I remember, it was pretty cool.
Oh, it is. It truly is. Yes, Wendell. I've played Pong with my dad and Pat and my
Oh, yeah.
sister, and yeah. We'd sit on the floor in the living room in front of the big TV.
You played ping pong.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, my dad, when I was a kid, he got us a ping pong table.
That's cool.
So, yeah. Jeff's has been farming in the Maryland heat wave. It's not just Maryland. Fallout. Did we watch any
We
of
did.
Fallout?
I'm trying to remember. We did watch it. I know. I just don't remember it all the way.
Frogger was a good one.
Oh yeah. I play that now when I try to get into the store from the parking lot. I've said it recently. I feel like I just played Frogger. Trying to scoot across to get into the store.
Karen says it's cooler here. Can't decide if it wants to be summer or not yet. Oh no, lost some cows during a heat wave. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, man. It's
Yeah,
a
right?
terrible way to die.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, there's places that got heat that aren't used to getting that.
No,
Hot.
it's the
It was
heat that
hotter
we
in New
get.
York City. I think Mike said it earlier. It was hotter in New York than it was here.
Yeah. Only difference of that is we get the humidity and the feel like it's like 10 degrees higher than the actual temperature.
Well, it gets humid up there.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's a different heat, but it's just as brutal.
Jamie says aliens probe for pleasure. Find it where you can, I guess.
Right?
Jeez. We were 18 centigrade here today, Mr. Lee. I never could convert from Fahrenheit to centigrade.
No.
DOS and Key Punch. DOS was, what was that? DOS, Direct Operating Systems.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Mr. Lee says, Karen, are you sure? That's a bit chilly. What is 95 degrees Fahrenheit in centigrade? 30.
95 degrees Fahrenheit is 35 degrees Celsius.
Didn't have to yell.
But, you know, like, damn, calm down.
200 plus cows. That's a lot of cows.
Wow. Oh shit. That's not good.
Jamie says he's 28 degrees Celsius and hail.
Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind.
She said it was cool. Right on.
Yeah.
It's just been brutal on the East Coast. A lot of northern tornadoes, like Minnesota up that way, and even the Dakotas. WTF Mike, you know, he's been cleaning it up. Just seems weird. So many going up, so much storms going up that way. Jamie says, not a breath of wind now. He only lost 7 out of that 200. Well, that's 7 too many.
Yeah. Right.
Wendell says, Jeff, I'm still waiting for cheese and butter. So, what do you do with the cows? I mean, I guess you could say they died of natural causes. Do you butcher them? I don't know if this is a stupid question or not.
No, I wondered. I know it's a loss, but is it
Is it a
total
complete
loss?
loss?
Right.
Yeah. You compost them? All right. What were they raised for? Milking cows, dairy cows, beef cows? Jamie says dog food. So that's a lot of cow.
It is.
You're looking at like 2 tons of cow or more. 3.
Times 7.
No, not per cow.
Like, wait, what? Mostly dairy and small
Small
herd
herd
of
beef.
beef.
Jamie said there's a lot of horse and dog food.
Karen said feeding 4 dogs is so expensive.
You know, I tried doing the right thing with Maya as far as I tried to. If you spend a lot of time on YouTube, not that anybody here does that, but you'll see like the all the commercials with what's her face from Grey's Anatomy,
Catherine
Heigl,
Hagel.
Yeah.
Heigl.
talking about her dogs and whatnot, and she's representing Badlands Ranch, claiming that she's part of it, and
I think it's her creation, her project.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
that shit's expensive.
Very.
Like I started buying it, and then I was like, yeah, no. If it was like, if you could buy like a 50-pound bag, that'd be different. But you're buying 9-pound bags
Yeah.
and like 3 of them, and per pound, I forget what it came out to. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah. It was bad. But it's good dog food.
Yeah, superfoods, and it was good for the dog, but I just couldn't afford it. I felt bad. So yeah, I know it's expensive, and I try to. It's the shit you buy in the store these days is just terrible for dogs.
shit you buy in store for humans.
It's
terrible.
true too. It's terrible. It's terrible for dogs. But we'll eat it.
I know. Expensive to feed cats too, Sharon says.
They get good food, but not that.
Yeah, if they were small, it'd be one thing, but feeding 3 big dogs, that's. I know, I've been there, but when I did it, it was way less expensive. I could afford it. It was way back when the prices were
Yeah, you were
decent.
feeding 2 dogs and 10 kids.
4 dogs. I had 4 dogs.
What's up, Harold? Says never know what's truly in store foods anymore.
You know, this is true.
That's why,
Unless you're growing your own and
or
raising
just
your own.
keeping it simple, like Mr. Lee's doing as far as just carnivore. Even the keto, it's simple and it's you know what you're putting in your body. I mean, you hope you do.
Yeah,
Well, because we're buying chicken, but you don't know that there was
how it
growth,
was right,
growth
how
hormones.
they were raised.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Unless you grow your own and raise your own, you truly don't know. Mr. Lee says I read the labels like never before, telling you. Yeah, I tend to now more than ever.
350-pound bags, $96 per bag. That's a lot. And you hope you're getting the right stuff,
Right.
Because there's just so many different brands out there. And Jamie says, but let's not bring up hot dogs. It's a lot of food to go through. I'm sure there's dogs and not just small horses. All right, where are we at?
20 minutes. 22 minutes.
So I'll say it. Don't know how I'm going to say it. Links in chat. Oh, St. Bernard Shepherd mix. That's a big puppy.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
One's a Bernese mix.
That's the one who barks at nothing or stares at whatever, barks at nothing. Even fresh hamburger has potato powder in it. Can you believe? Why would they do that? As an anti-aging thing?
Or
So it keeps its color or something? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I gotta go shopping. We gotta get some food in the house. My shopping consists of buying like 1 pack of pork chops, 1 pack of chicken, 1 pack of something, I get the family pack and then just individually wrap them and
Makes meals out of them.
It seems like it should last longer than it does, though. I mean, we don't overeat or anything. I'll
No.
make one pork chop each and steam some vegetables and of course cook some bacon.
Yeah, but the
We're out of bacon, by the way, so yeah, I have to go shopping
the
tomorrow.
pork chop is like the size of half of the plate.
Yeah, we've had some big pork chops.
And the other half is steamed veggies, and that's more than enough.
Lab grown meats and chemicals in our waters. We are all genetic freaks. Also, somebody can make a buck.
Yeah. Sure is.
Little Shih Tzu. You little Shih Tzu.
My little
Yeah.
Shih Tzu, Benny.
Mr. Lee's been eating a lot of fresh fish. Switch it up.
a bit.
Right on. Jamie says center cut pork chops are my favorite. Butterfly pork chops. Yeah, no, like I've been getting like the last time we got the nice chicken breasts. Normally I don't buy them, but I made them work.
Yeah.
Made chicken cordon bleu the one night, and
Yeah.
been using Mr. Lee's little trick with the pork skins as breading.
Pork rind. Yeah, I made them that one night in the air fryer. I think I overcooked them a little. Overestimated the air fryer. Still trying to get the hang of it. Well, I mean, generally don't cook meals too much in it. It's it's more, I use it more to heat stuff up and get a crisp on something.
In place of the microwave, I guess. Huh?
Yeah,
I wonder
pretty
I wonder if that's why our electric bills are damn high.
because the air fryer
Could be.
not that high.
Well, I just looked and it's on its way to that at the halfway
I'm
point.
saying the air fryer is not gonna raise it that high. Our electric bill got a little bit high, and we're trying to figure out why. It doesn't make sense.
No.
It doesn't, not at all. I know they said Duke Energy had raised rates, and the reasoning for it was to redeem some, expenses from the hurricane and replacing poles and lines and stuff. And I'm like, so we got to pay for it,
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. It wasn't like the rates went up. The usage was up.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
That's-
why? What are we using more of all of a sudden?
I can't see.
It's not just the air conditioners have been on.
We're 2 years into being here, so this definitely doesn't make sense. The history of the pattern of our power usage has drastically increased. So we're like, what the hell? Internal power surges by the companies, Harold says.
Yeah, the usage was up the most. It was the most last month, and so
And I haven't looked. I want to look and see at what times it peaks, because then that might narrow it down to like, are we using something more? Which is funny because I've done like
that's the halfway point.
less laundry and running the dryer less. I'm hanging clothes on the line like for the last month that this price increase went up. I hung clothes on the line rather than running the dryer, so I cut that down probably by half of the usage of what I was running the dryer before. Sharon said they're doing it to us all. See, and I wondered if it's happening all over, if it's just
Yeah,
us,
I wasn't sure.
It's
just odd.
what it says. The air conditioning is the reason for a higher electric bill. I get that, but since we're here in Florida, we run it like we run our heat maybe for an average of a week out of the
That,
year.
but it's not constant.
It's not
like
constant.
just to
It's
get the
enough to
chill
get
off,
the,
and that's
and
it.
that's it. It's not constantly kicking on. We haven't had a cold enough day to have to run it all day. It's just get up in the morning. Ooh, it's chilly. Cut it on until it warms up, and then it's off. But we run our AC constant, like throughout the year. The house is sitting in the dead of the sun, throughout the day. It warms up pretty quick.
Karen says her dogs are spoiled.
Aren't they all?
Someone told me my dogs have more toys than their kids.
These are your children.
Northwoods, when we just bought a new air conditioner because the one in the bedroom was just not cutting it anymore, and it was an older unit. We had got it secondhand, so I was looking to get like a mini split system or something like that would do the whole house, and I didn't want to spend that kind of money.
No, and we're
1,100-1,200
replacing
bucks.
that one has equaled it out in the house, and it's worked out perfect. So far.
No, it's. I put a new one in the bedroom. Had to alter it to fit it in the window, but it works. And yeah, so I have two 8,000 BTU air conditioners.
And we set them on automatic, so it gets to 72 to 74, and it'll cut off. So it's not constant running.
Well, this place it's a single wide. It's only a little over 600 square feet.
Yeah.
It's just the way the way the roof jogs up, like straight above me, the roof, like the kitchen, and it goes into the living room, but the roof bounces up like another foot. So it's an 8-foot ceiling, and it gets hot on this side. It's weird.
Well, because
And then we got all these windows.
yeah.
Karen says it's ridiculous. Our electric runs 200 to 300, and I asked for a reduction, and they gave us a $60 one. Better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, my right now my bill is on track to be $240. Last month it was $250.
And we're not even in the summer.
Well, we are
I
now.
mean,
but
as
not
far
the-
as
yeah, not
I'm
the-
thinking July, August, where it's the hottest.
no one has air conditioning in England. It's true. Start shipping air conditioners over.
Well, that's the times that I visited Puerto Rico. It was the same. They might have a window unit in the bedroom to sleep at night, but the rest of the houses are open.
Yeah.
There's no AC. If you have AC, it's a luxury.
Well, here in Florida, it's a requirement.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Look, we lose power. We've lost power in my office recently a lot because they're working on the power lines out around the perimeter of the park. And I tell you what, after an hour of no electricity, no air conditioning, I'm going home. I can't do it. It's just god awful, man. And my office is like a fishbowl. There's windows all around. You can open them up. If you don't dare open the windows, because then you let all that humidity in, so I know it sounds silly. You're sitting there suffering in the inside with no windows open, but I tell you what, it's 10 times worse. You open the window, open the door. Somebody comes to the door. It's like, hurry up, get in, shut the door.
Sharon says, I am total electric and I hate it. I wish all the time I would have put gas in, especially the stove and heat. Yeah, we're completely electric too.
Well, I don't want to say most, but a lot of the homes in Florida are.
Yeah, but the 5 feet from our door,
there's a gas line.
There's a gas line. There's
Yeah.
a natural gas line in the house next door. They don't even use it. It's not even hooked up, I don't think.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I would love to
Prefer
have
gas. I
like
grew up on gas
natural
stove.
gas or even propane. I don't care. I hate cooking with electric. The stove is antiquated, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I make it work, but
Yeah. I know.
and even like having an electric, like a hot water heater, I should be looking into making that solar.
Right?
At least the hot water heater.
Yeah,
know.
right?
I am considering investing in a solar powered generator. My prime minister says we should brace ourselves for war.
Huh.
Huh. That's right. Sorry. We've been talking about shit like,
Well, there's a lot going on out there where the conversations are warranted. The uncertainty of all the nations, not just us. Without getting political, it is something.
Karen
to
says, I don't
consider.
know how solar would work here. It's cloudy so much of the time. I don't know that. I think it still works even on a cloudy
I
day.
think so too.
It's
not
just
sure
not
how
as
that-
strong.
I'm not sure how it works, but I do think that it does work because you're still getting UV rays and
Yeah, it's just a little filtered.
yeah.
Like some of the worst sunburns I ever got at the beach were on cloudy days. True story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is true. At least the Karen, it works still, and you can store the energy.
Just need a lot of batteries
Yeah.
and inverters and, the whole system.
Well, that comes along with it. Yeah.
We need a generator, though. Trees take out the power every winter, multiple times. Yeah, well, I picked up a generator, and that last hurricane that we had,
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
that was that worked. I mean, I had to switch. I'd run the air conditioner for a while, and then the refrigerator. So we didn't lose anything as far as the refrigerator or food or anything because it would just
Yeah.
maintained it.
Well, I tell you what, in all the hurricanes and all the power outages, that was the most comfortable that I was without power after a storm with
Oh,
the
yeah.
generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we made it work. It worked well. For sure. You got 5 minutes left.
Really?
Yep. 2 according to my phone.
5 according to this. 9 according to that. That's weird.
2 according to the phone and my laptop.
1 according to my
Well,
phone.
now 1. It changed.
I can't see it.
I think we started a couple minutes behind.
Mr. Lee says, I am so pleased I moved out of London when I did. First thing to go will be our power, they say. Yeah, dude, get ready. be prepared, you know, even if you never use it. If you never need it, have it.
Right. Harold,
Just
good
dig a
night.
hole and bury it and vent it so your neighbors don't hear it because they're going to want your your power. Who'd you say goodnight to?
Harold.
Harold, good night, dude. Thanks for stopping in.
Sharon says, Mr. Lee, it's going to be bad on everyone.
Let's just pray that it's not bad on anyone.
Exactly.
But hope for the best, pray for the best, hope for, or whatever.
But yes.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yes.
There we go.
There you
Spit it out. Spit it out.
go. You get it. Yeah, I spent yesterday in shelter training, and I know it's the end of the show now. I talk about it.
No, it's
It was pretty cool. It's called a step down shelter. So when storms hit, they open up the schools here in Florida for emergency shelters. Anyone that doesn't feel safe in their home or doesn't have somewhere to go, all the schools turn into shelters. Well, when the storm passes and everyone goes home and the school opens up again for the students, the displaced people in the area, the county, Seminole County, provides a step down shelter. It's a shelter designed just for those that are displaced. So in the training we did yesterday, it was set up for 50 individuals, whether it was children, families. 50
now this
in
training.
total.
Keep in mind the training that they did, where they had trucks roll
It
in,
was
they
a
had to
simulation.
unload the trucks, they had
A complete simulation of.
victims with certain wounds and
I
characters and
We
actors. And,
played roles of of people needing assistance and in all scenarios that they could think of, because what we enacted is part of what's happened in the past and things that could possibly still happen for individuals coming in, whether it's wounded or criminal or just all scenarios.
she was a rock star.
It was fun for me. I trained for a lot of this when I was in the Army, so, but the only difference is we didn't have a building. It was out in the field, so there was that difference, but it was very cool to go through it all. I felt like I was in my element and, just kind of ran with it for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, and you took charge when
But
you
what's cool, I think, is that the county provides that that's one of 5. So we're designed to set up 5 different locations for step down shelters. And it was in a church, a local church. We pretty much went in and took over. Like you said, there was the trucks rolled up with all the supplies. We had to unload the trucks and get everything set up and from scratch. We get the church and it's like, here, make it happen. So we went through the whole scenario it was from 8 in the morning. I think we finished like right around noon. It was pretty interesting. I hate to say that I had fun, but I kind of did.
well, because a lot of people didn't know what to do, and somebody had to step up. So Stevie stepped up.
It was right on with what I'm familiar with, and yeah, it was easy. So it was fun. And we did have a good time doing it because you kind of goof off when
Sure.
you're doing the acting and such. Maybe I'll tell more about it on Tuesday.
On that note, guys, we are gonna bounce. Maya, I'll let you out in a minute.
I know
Okay, you're getting all
she
worked up.
was over there scratching at the door
Yeah,
for a
that's
second.
why I'm like, 1 second. But thank you guys for hanging out tonight. If you enjoyed tonight's show, please hit that like button below. Share it out. Subscribe if you're new, and leave comments.
Comments, yes.
It was great to see everybody. We'll be back on Tuesday. Have an amazing weekend.
Be
Have a
safe.
safe weekend. Absolutely. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. We love you.
We do.
We do, really. We wouldn't lie.
No.
Peace and God bless.